A clean game for 4 quarters, but did enough to win. And I thought going into this week, we just need to have a good, what I call November 1-0 mentality, just a daily focus on getting better. The only way we could get to Saturday is take care of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And we didn't play clean that first half, but I really liked the way they responded. I thought if our offense came out in that second half and took that first one for a score, we'd be in a good position. Had some bumps in the road, but I thought the game really flipped on that 4th down stop. They had a 1st and goal inside the 5, and our defense really rose to the challenge there. It was a really good moment for them, and then obviously offensively did enough things to put the game away, and then even just a little thing making David Alano's kick to make it a 3-score game there at the end really kind of changed the dynamics from there on out. So super excited about the win. Don't know about, James went out earlier. I know he got hit in the head, so it didn't look like it was anything over the top, but obviously wasn't able to return. But other than that, Aiden Lawford, I don't know if he got in today. He was clear, didn't get really into the flow of practice till Thursday or Friday, so we should have him back going forward. And then obviously got a tough opponent this week. I know Wisconsin had the setback today, but they've been playing very good down the stretch here. So obviously know a little about that place. So we'll go up there and see where we can go. But super excited to be a 7-3 football team. I know I wish I was 10-0, but those 3 setbacks we had to learn from them. I thought they've done a good job. Brett informed me that 2021, 22, 24, 24 to 5, right, loss. So kind of like last year, we just got to keep sawing wood. Only can take advantage of today. I think we're a good football team that hopefully gets better every week, and this week needs to be another growth in the right direction, another step in the right direction. So with that, open up for questions.
A lot of big stops on 3rd and 4th down. What did you see there? What were some of the keys to getting off?
Our stops? Yeah. Defensively, really since the Purdue game on, we've just been talking a lot about, hey, keeping the ball in front of us. Let's be effective on 3rd down. If they get a 1st down, let's keep ourselves in position to get another stop. There was a couple drives early on that, they got a couple of 1st downs, and then we stalled out and made them kick field goals, which was huge to go in the locker room with just a 14-6 game without any touchdowns on the board. I thought that was a really big part of it. I'm super excited about that stop inside the 5, right? And they got frustrated they got down there, but bottom line to come out of there with a W. And then really that last play, even, Gabe Ackas of all people had a good zone drop that made that play kind of go where it needed to go. So hopefully we continue to play good football and put ourselves in a good position.
What's it mean for your defense to play complementary football the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks, and what's led to that?
Yeah, so I talked November 1-0 mentality was goal number 1, but my last goal, I always have 3 keys I share with the team. My last one was just play complementary football, offense, defense, special teams. And I showed them really in the Rutgers game. Rutgers was a very aggressive punt block team, right? So we put in a lot of prep about punt. Greg Shannon and his crews blocked more punts than anybody in the country. So we didn't punt until 2:56 in the 4th quarter against Rutgers, right? And I thought that was a really big defining moment. Our defense, offense made that moment happen. And kind of this week, the same thing, to go in the locker room 14-6 at the half and really feel that you're pretty in control of the game, but you got to go out there and solve it. And then defense made another stop, and offense scored points first, then our defense made a stop, and that's kind of when I felt the wave switch our way. And hopefully continue to be there. Got a little banged up, obviously, with James not in there. He's probably our best defensive tackle, so got to continue to advance and find a way to make guys make plays.
Going to Madison still a deal for you? Or is it something kind of another game?
It's just another game, but it's not. But I get it, right? Like I have a lot of great memories up there, right? My wife and I obviously got married in Madison, and so there's a lot of things that have nothing to do with the game that have everything to do with Wisconsin, right? I've got a lot of great friends up there. Obviously, Luke and I have known each other for a long time, so I have a lot of respect for what he did, especially in his time in Cincinnati and what he's building up there. So it's just another Big Ten football game. I know it'll be a narrative, but I think it's more about just Wisconsin playing Illinois on a Saturday afternoon, and we'll find a kick time here pretty soon.
Brett, back-to-back games over 200 in the run game. Just what do you feel like has flipped in that?
Yeah, and for me personally, I think Khalil Valentine has just continued to take steps forward, and I thought really Caden Fagan since really by week 1, just the way he's been running in practice. Even last week against Rutgers, I know he tried to bounce that one, but I just think he's really continued to take a step forward. I felt all along those 3 running backs pretty good, but the way our offensive line played today was pretty inspiring. I thought they've had a hat on a hat. They cover guys up, and then now you got Luke in there in the run game as well that makes it hard to defend those kind of guys. So I think just the emergence of playing consistent football. I can't say enough about Barry Lunny. I know that we are on pace to break a record for points scored and production, and he's just a really confident play caller. He's got a lot of tools around him. Obviously, to have a 3-year starting quarterback helps out a lot, but I couldn't say enough about Barry. Really, and our offensive staff doing a great job putting that game plan together.
beyond like Luke's designed runs, what kind of impact is his maybe improvisational abilities?
Yeah, he does a lot of creative things, but also some of those design runs that I think make the defense defend an extra hat, right? And then he just kind of thrives off it. When Khalil got hold for that holding call, I was letting some people know my opinion on that, and he was all fired up, and I looked at him. I said, "Calm your ass down, right?" Just because he gets really feisty. I think that's the part that other people, as we get further into this thing, and the good part is he's playing really good football. The bad part is, he's in his final phase of playing for us, right? And so I gotta really enjoy the moments while we have those times together. But I tell these seniors all the time, man, I'm trying to prepare you for the moment when I'm not with you. Right, I'm not going to be with you in that next phase when you go to the NFL, and those guys need to understand the urgency that they have, especially in the latter part of the season. In college football in November, that's when you really are defined, especially as a starting quarterback. Teams want to know how you're going to play, in inclement weather, and when the games are deciding whether you're in playoffs and contention. So Luke's ability to play down the stretch here is a really big deal.
I don't think we saw Aiden Laffer today. Anything on him health-wise?
I said it a minute ago, or just said it on the radio. Yeah, so he practiced towards the end of the week, Thursday, Friday, and I think he was clear today. It's just whether or not he felt it. And I think just by the way Caden and Khalil were running, we didn't have to go to him.
We're like a big momentum shift after you guys picked up that fourth down and scored a touchdown in
Absolutely.
the second quarter.
Yeah.
What kind of went into that decision, and how did it benefit you guys?
For the go for it, you mean? Yeah. So Ben Miller, who is our guest captain, and I are together literally now. This is our 5th year of being together. It's his 3rd year being in this role where he has the book and I go through an analytics. I don't go 100% by analytics, but we use them, and then I kind of just get a feel for where we're at and what we're doing. I've went against it, went with it certain times. Ben and I are literally getting together from the first drive. He usually then on the wrist for us when we're in offense. He's giving me what the book says, and we kind of talk through things. But then on the defense side of the ball, he takes the book as though he's the offense going against us. So when we know when they're going to go 4-down scenarios for us, so it's really kind of advanced math, but it's also a lot of feel. It's a lot of understanding. And I said to Barry on that particular call, he said it was 4th and 1.5. I said, "Do you feel good with the call?" And he said, "I feel great with the call." That was the whip route to Hank. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. 2 of our best players. I always say as coaches, right, good coaches put their best players in great positions, right, and Barry does that routinely, and the results are what we've seen.
But only 19 points allowed the last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
What's led to that for the defense, and what's that mean for you guys?
I give a lot of credit to Aaron and defensive staff. Got a lot of pride in that room, and I think coming out of some of those games that they felt that, right, and during the bye week, I kept all those guys in. I want to do a really heavy self-scout on what we did, how we do it. Not to get into the nuts and bolts, but we have changed up some things that I think have been very advantageous. Even last 2 games getting a lot of batted balls. I mean, it's not too hard to say when you got Eli Coonan and Pat Farrell in there. Those are two towering guys in there, right? And they were able to put their hands up, get some balls. I think I think Kurt Neal got one down today. I think Angelo might have got one. So just really good. And there's a lot of times where you can tell when a quarterback's going to throw. Like a lot of guys are patters, right? So you got a guy that's a patter, when he's going to throw, and just little things like that you can pick up on.
One more after this.
Point of that drive that stalled out at the 1 for you guys offensively, and did you think about getting it to Caden at any point in that?
I'm sure, yeah, but I thought Rio got in. I almost challenged it, but I could see he probably got stopped. So I know we went with a quick play there, and then I called the barge play, the sneak that didn't go. I called a formation. I didn't call the play, but probably should have just let that in Barry's hands, and he was doing a pretty good job getting it through. But that was frustrating, but also kind of a good moment for us, right? Even though we didn't get in there, that's a motivation for when we get in those moments in the future. Because I was trying to get it. If we kicked a field goal, it would have been a 3-score game, but I wanted the points there. Just I felt momentum where we're at. 1st and goal on the 1, we got to be able to get that in, and hopefully the next time that moment arises, we will.
Coach, I know how locked in you
Last one
are on the task at hand. Luke only has 1 more game in this stadium.
Yeah.
Do you get a chance to sit back and soak in the moments with him?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly the question, but every game I have with that kid's special, right? One thing you probably have learned through me is, right, I'm a very intentional head coach. I build relationships with my guys way beyond the moment that we're in. So, during the bye week, I was working my tail off as hard as I humanly can to get Luke into an all-star game, right? Like he doesn't need to know that. I told him, right, and brought him in, but I'm so excited. not just about what he can do for us here and what he can do, but like for me as a head coach now, 17 years into it, to see our players get to a point where they can go beyond here, right? It's fun to watch, and to see his mom and dad after the game. I have a young daughter who thinks Luke Altmaier walks on water, when Caden Fagan scored a touchdown, Bret Bell, that's your guy. So they take their players, so it's kind of fun for me to see that, right? Like just the intentionality that our players have and the interaction they have with their fan base, pretty cool.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.